The other guy.
I really wanted a human actor to be making the decisions that a performer would normally make if they were playing a role. I wanted somebody to be on set for Naomi to perform with, and so all those things were possible by casting Andy Serkis.
We're here on the big wall Kong set here. It's kind of a big day for us today. It's the first day that we're going to have Andy Serkis on set playing Kong.
Today is very special because he finally gets to unveil his inner Kong.
Quite nervous, actually, I have to say, today, because this is the first time on set. You know, it's kind of in a way back to Voyage of Discovery time.
He wanted to physically be able to recreate a gorilla. He had teeth made.
Pete's drawing the teeth anyway. I'm not going to laugh. I'm not going to laugh.
He looked a little bit like a character out of a very cheap werewolf horror movie.
Very good.
I mean, it's all greasing the wheels, as we said, but, you know.
Greasing the wheels, yeah? It's like greasing the wheels to me.
And it reminded me so much of the first day that I turned up on set as Gollum in my skin-tight outfit, and he giggled and made me feel really good.
He turned up on set to play Gollum, and a lot of people, crew and actors, everyone sort of went, "What's he doing?" So Andy turned up on set as Kong and get in his gorilla outfit with his arm extensions, and a lot of the crew and cast went, "What's he doing?"
Felt a little bit nervous and a little bit kind of, you know, silly.
But then you get to think of him like a little gorilla, you know. He used to take my hand and come for a walk with me, you know, around studios.
It's time to Mike the man, the mighty man of Kong.
Just give us a blast there, Andy.
This is the Kongalizer.
Maximum volume.
There was no point of him being a gorilla if he couldn't sound like one.
This amazing rig could make his voice much deeper, make his voice box sound much bigger, and, you know, depending on what he was doing, make his chest sound kind of quite big as well.
It's like puppeteering your own voice, and it's really freaky. It's very, very freaky.
It scared the hell out of me when it went on the stage one day and he was roaring out.
And that was actually really quite impressive and helpful.
Save up a really good big roar for when I go 3, 2, 1, smash.
Yeah.
And the smash is your kind of grand entrance.
Okay, cool.
Kong's presence finally was there as a tool for the other actors to play off.
They were kind of quite mesmerised by what I was giving them. They were actually quite shocked.
Andy, I don't know if I've ever met a sweeter guy. I was so scared. He is so insane. As King Kong, he is not a human.
He is freaking me out. He starts going apeshit.
Suddenly Kong became so much bigger, you know, just in our imagination.
And the people who were really paying attention to what was going on went, "Ah, that's what Andy's doing."
Look what the motion capture department gave me. For a present, first day of Kong. Bananas.
And then we took that to the last step, which was recreating it in the studio with the final pictures, with Andy doing like an ADR session.
This huge 3-day epic ADR session in LA. I think it's fair to say that my vocal cords haven't recovered from it since, in all honesty. The most successful stuff, I think, ended up being the breath, actually.
It became the backbone for the Kong vocal.
I mean, the Kong vocal ended up being essentially a real bed of Andy's voice, which was the basis that we built other sounds on top of.
The roars, the big roars, were what needed most backing up from and beefing up from other sources.
Which were then edited by Brent Burge. He augmented them with animal sounds, creature noises of his own making, and voila, King Kong is born.
Most critically, Andy was there for Naomi.
How do they clean that suit, Andy? I bet you it stinks. But in full gorilla style, by the way.
When I got to the set, I realised how much he was putting into it.
It was vital for Naomi to be able to believe what was going on between her and Kong so that she was not having to make weird character decisions for Kong.
Because otherwise, Kong's performance would end up being an amalgam of my imagination and Naomi's imagination.
Everybody should just take their cue from Andy. Andy will do a big throw.
And the first scene that we really played together, which was the Cove scene, was quite extraordinary.
Andy, we'll just want you to see, so it's important to get a camera left eye line. Well, I mean, aren't we going to block Andy out? Have we checked this eye line? So there we go, Andy. That's where we are. So
tight up against the box there. Is that good?
You're kind of lowish most of the time during this, aren't you?
I'm down. Yeah, I'm down.
You had heart rhythm number 1, and now we're moving up to the heart rhythm number 2.
And then hit.
It was a big, big day for me and for Naomi because it was her first big emotional Kong scene.
I'm sitting in the back of the boat crying. I don't know if Preston's supposed to be crying at that point, but I am. I couldn't help it.
So, I was standing there with my with this big harpoon, and I'm starting like crying, because I can't take it any longer,
After that first scene that really worked between us, it did become a normal way of working, and we really did have an extraordinary bond. As if you were playing a normal kind of relationship on the screen where someone's off camera and someone's being filmed.
You nail it every single time because you believe totally in the characters and the situations. No, darling, aren't you, Mark? No, but...
I love him.
And he looks up at the trees.
I may be tricking my imagination here and believing that I'm working with a gorilla, but it's just a connection between two souls.
We had this problem of Andy being not 25 foot tall. And what we realised is the most important thing he could do was to be placed where Kong's head would be.
I never thought I'd be spending so much time up in a JLG. It has its kind of lonely moments. People forget you're up there sometimes.
Occasionally, Andy would describe what Kong was doing. If there were things that he couldn't physically do, he would be shouting them out.
Push!
And now he's picking up a boulder.
Smashing it! Smashing the floor! Smashing it!
And then he's going to run towards you and a fist comes down.
Left! Right! He's going berserk!
It never disturbed me. It never made me feel like, oh, now I'm listening to an actor. Because Andy was always in character.
There you go.
He just makes me believe I'm nothing without him.
I fell in love, with this creature, and that was important. The story does not work if you don't have that.
Beautiful.
The amazing thing with visual effects films is how much of the power of the visual effect depends on the power of the actors who are reacting to it. How strong and powerful they are will ultimately dictate how powerful your creature turns out to be.
I knew that she was receiving what I was able to give her and was using that, and so it was very gratifying for me. And I knew that further down the line, when it came to shoot Kong's reverses on the motion capture stage, we would be locked into the moment.
And cut. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you very, very much. That is also Naomi and Andy's last shot as well. So. Now your work begins.
We started the motion capturing of Kong after principal photography had finished.
Essentially, Andy had to do everything twice. He filmed the scenes with Naomi during the principal photography, and then months later, he would be doing the other half of the same scene, but he'd be doing it in a special motion capture suit. and we're able to capture his performance so that every movement he made was captured by the computer and able to drive the digital model of Kong.
We had the chance through animation for Peter to direct the previs and sort of get a rough pass at what he wanted Kong to be doing. Now this was our chance to actually work with Andy and get Andy's take on what Kong should be and what he should be doing, and a lot of stuff was born out of that.
Okay, we're going to do a range of motion. We should film this on our master camera.
Basically, every day when we start, we have to do a range of motion, which is like a physical workout for the CG puppet.
Which Andy would make the rest of the crew get up and do with him.
If they missed out on the yoga before they came to work, they could do this.
You couldn't not do the range of motion, you had to do the range of motion.
When we started to investigate how we were going to do the motion capture, we realised it was going to be tough. But I didn't realise that actually Gollum was a piece of cake compared to it. Creating Kong was a million times more difficult because of the proportionality.
You know, I mean, Andy's arms are too short to play a gorilla, his legs are too long.
He refuses to get an arm extension surgically done.
I wanted to, but they wouldn't give me the time out to go and get it done.
Easy.
I would have done it, but I'm not paying for it, that's all I'm saying.
If Andy needed to walk on all fours like a gorilla, gorillas' arms are longer than their legs. So we built these special arm extensions that he could walk on all fours. But the problem was he couldn't use his hands because he couldn't then pick them up because his hands were locked into these grips. So if he were doing things where he needed to use his hands a lot, we actually had to build a special platform for him. So he didn't have to bend over as much, but he could use his hands, and then we would extend Kong's arms to touch the ground.
Lots of scenes were achieved with me running along carrying a Barbie. I know you've been watching the animatics, but you've got to put a bit more into it because I just can't do it. All right? You know, sometimes when my kids came down on a Friday afternoon to watch that, I think they must have thought, what is my father doing? He's 41 years old, running around in a monkey suit with dots all over his face and a Barbie. You know, get a job. Here we are. It's just a warehouse, really, but we've converted it into this rather marvellous high-tech space. Nobody's here yet. I'm always the first in because getting facial markers on takes about an hour and a half. Well, me and Tasha, who does the makeup, digital makeup. Gino would be on one side and Tash would be on the other, and Gino had this joke where he'd go, 1, 2, 3. So what do you do in an hour and a half? This is where I get to settle down and watch a good movie.
We'd watch King Kong every morning, the original one.
We'd stick about 132 markers all over my face, along the eyelids, along all the facial muscle groups.
And those dots make particular patterns. And from those patterns, we can figure out what muscles are moving on Andy. Then we can map that to Kong's muscles, and that's how we can transfer the performance. Essentially, Andy's facial muscles are driving Kong's facial muscles.
The effectiveness is really through the eyes.
We can actually figure out which way Andy's eyes are moving just from the motion of these markers, just from the shape changes in the eyelids.
And that is how we've really created the emotional power through the eyes.
The mocap stage is a very, very sterile environment to sort of perform against. There's no set, there's no props.
He's in a black lycra suit, he's got stupid dots on him, he's surrounded by cameras.
There is a sense of loneliness out there, and there were long days.
I always felt sorry for Andy in a way because Andy was left alone to generate his performance.
The scariest times for me was everybody packing up and going home, the cast, and then realising that really the whole characterisation of Kong had yet to be done.
So much of Kong's character was actually being written on the motion capture stage.
Fran and Philippa were down there and you know, they had scenes that they hadn't even written yet that they wanted to explore through Andy.
What we were trying to find was the essence, the true nature of Kong.
He is curious and intelligent and familial. You know, I mean, he wants to be part of a family group. That's his natural instinct.
I mean, he can be angry, he can be aggressive, he can be violent, but what he is at the base is a creature with an enormous heart. He is an honest character, and therefore heroic.
And all of this Andy understood and brought to the character of Kong.
When he was reacting to Naomi, we would play a take that she did on a video monitor for Andy.
And so I played directly to them as an eye line, which is why it was so important to have had that relationship with her on the set. And that's why it feels like they are acting with each other, because they are acting with each other.
Roll sound. And cut.
It gets intense in here, doesn't it? It's intense in here. We love it, but we're all going mad.
God, unbelievable. Hard to think we've been doing this for 8 weeks.
We've kind of really done a first pass. Although we've been doing it for 8 weeks, it feels like we only really discovered the character about 2 weeks ago.
But this is just the beginning for Kong. It's just the beginning for Kong. There's a lot of work to do. The wizards at Weta Digital have still got a lot of work to go, and good luck to them.
I think Carl Denham had an easier job trying to make his movie.
So he just goes for a bit of a jump.
The girl he chases down it was originally come from mocap, and now it's been sort of fairly heavily keyframed.
The motion captured data for Kong was very useful, and it formed the basis of Kong's performance. But just because of the physical nature of the character, there were a lot of things that Andy literally couldn't motion capture.
We got Kong on the Empire State Building. Yeah, it was originally mocap, but it wasn't quite monumental enough.
The majority of Kong's performance, there isn't one shot that hasn't come through the animation department. And a lot of the times, you know, shots that were originally intended to be completely motion capture were reanimated.
Motion capture is great if you can nail it. If you have to go in and rework it or modify it, then it becomes very, very difficult to do.
Motion capture is incredibly intensive in the amount of data that it generates, because every little twitch of every little part of the body gets recorded.
Because the data is so dense, to make any changes, it became a huge amount of work just to get the film finished. You know, we sort of had to make a few decisions early on that when this stuff came in, how close is it to what Peter wants? If it's dead on, then we should attempt to use it. If he wants, you know, this change and that change to it, we may as well animate it from scratch.
But there was always Andy there as reference, even for the times that motion capture wasn't actually usable to drive the puppet.
Finding Kong within the Andy performance was a combination of animators taking that raw motion capture data and building on it and preserving the performance, but finding Kong within the performance.
Andy brought a consistency that we could all, you know, as animators lock onto. He really showed us who the character was supposed to be.
So it is very much an amalgam. I mean, the final performance of Kong is obviously driven by Andy Serkis, but it's Christian Rivers directing the animation team to deliver the completion of the performance.
The biggest challenge we had on Kong was really not so much that he was digital, but that he was an animal.
Kong only has facial and body expressions and some noise.
And that was a scary thing, because it meant that our computer character had to deliver a powerful enough performance to be able to show you his feelings without saying a single word of dialogue.
It almost could be considered an advantage as well, just because the audience can really kind of project their feelings into what he's looking like.
And he has an ability to be driven by Andy's acting performance as well, so that it's the perfect synergy between a human actor and a visual effects computer-generated character.
The ice pond idea came from Philippa and Fran working with Andy on the mocap stage.
I got to be honest, I was a bit skeptical. I was like, oh, crikey, is that getting a little bit... I don't know. I mean, you know, everyone has their own opinions.
A lot of people thought Ice Pond was a bit of a joke and that it would never, ever make the final film.
I remember having to convince the animators that this was going to be a really great sequence.
It did seem like a slightly crazy idea, but it was a brilliant idea because people at that point of the film were just really ready for something to give some happiness to Kong.
And I'm really proud of the sequence. I think the sequence is so beautiful.
The thing that I've come to learn with computer-generated characters is that the most powerful moments are often the stillest, most subtle moments of their performance.
It's the quiet moments that really let you understand the character.
There's this wonderful shot of him feeling very sheepish after he's done this sort of tantrum and smashed up the ruins. And you can see that he's absorbing the fact that somehow there's been this power shift and that she now has power over him. I mean, those moments are the stillest and the most subtle in the whole movie, and obviously some key moments on the Empire State Building as well.
It was those moments, I think, for me, that gave him a reality and a soul.
And of course, so much of it is in the play of the eyes.
Even on his death scene, his face was very still, but we could still motion capture the tiny little movements in the eyelids, how they were just kind of relaxing and going limp.
When the light goes out of those eyes, when Kong loses his life, you see the passing of that soul.
What happens in a film like this, which is kind of scary, but it's just the reality, is that you have a huge amount of time in which you prepare, and it takes you most of that time to simply get one shot looking good for Kong. Like it took us, possibly a year and a half before we had a shot that we liked, a single shot.
Pretty much everything that was done up to that point was development still, rather than actually any kind of production animation.
It's almost like rehearsal, and then when everything's ready, we go into performance mode.
Every single shot that you see in the film was animated at one point or another in that last 6 months.
Doesn't get much tighter than that.
The pressure is really on, and now I'm going to take my coat off because I'm getting kind of hot.
And in the case of Kong, it's something like 900 shots.
I mean, I thought Return of the King was bad in terms of the time frame we had, but this definitely tops it.
So we were pretty busy the last 3 or 4 months.
I'm really, relieved and thankful that I got the chance to make Kong at the end of the day. I mean, people, I think, naturally assume that The Lord of the Rings was probably my big lifetime ambition, but that's actually not the case at all. Kong was the film that I had wanted to make since I was a kid.
If he hadn't seen the original King Kong, I don't know what Peter Jackson would be doing today. He would probably be making models or something like that.
That was a key thing for me, that he had lived with this film in his head since he was 9 years old, and that was what drove him right to this day.
It's the movie that made him want to become a filmmaker.
The original 1933 Kong, I think, has probably inspired more people to become filmmakers or writers or special effects artists or makeup artists than probably any film ever made.
I got Kong out over Christmas and I viewed it at Weta Workshop, and I finished the film and then walked out into their display hall where you have all of their hero swords from LOTR, suits of armour, things from Narnia, all sorts of wonderful, wonderful creations. It really hit me that this is all here. This has been created because of that film that I'd just been watching. And it was like a sledgehammer blow. It was incredible.
And to be working on Peter's remake of that film was really it's the job of a lifetime.
Just like on Rings, where we said, well, if Tolkien were alive today, he'd probably be happy. And we think that probably if Willis O'Brien were alive today, he'd probably be thrilled and wish that he'd been here with us to do it.
If ever there was a bash it together, handmade CG visual effects film, Kong is it.
This is just like the old days.
Pete makes films nowadays just like he did on Braindead. It's just now he has a huge visual effects facility at his disposal.
Yeah, it's his home movie because it's all his home. Universal's biggest picture is Pete's home movie.
Sometimes he's protecting you, like he's running and protecting you here.
With Peter Jackson, the great thing, art is fun. Art is like playing all day round.
You better put on those knee pads, Tomas. You're gonna need them.
I think me and Lobo have like a 2-minute fight scene before Tomas comes in. I fight both of them.
In a lot of ways, it was like I was 12 years old, running around in a big backyard, pretending like we were doing a thing. And then I come out of the bushes, and I'm King Kong, and you can scream, ah! You know what I mean?
But I don't think he's got the strength. Yeah, he hasn't really got the strength.
I was there on set when he finally got to shoot the Empire State Building. I got chills because I thought when he was a kid he was trying to do this, and now he's sitting there doing it. It's his dream, and that's pretty special to be part of that.
For me, it was also the end of 5 years of being in New Zealand pretty well. It was the end of a big era in my life of being part of creating 2 CG characters.
I've definitely been pleased how he's feeling like a character in his own right. He doesn't look like any other gorilla we've met before.
No.
The great opportunity that this film has given me is the chance to assist Peter in our small way to help him make this film.
So now I'm thinking jump off a bridge or something right after I'm done with this movie because it's not going to get any better.
I do feel like I've achieved really what I wanted to achieve when I set out to be a filmmaker when I was, a kid. And so now I can just relax and enjoy myself and have fun from this point on. It sort of feels a little bit like that.